Bloodborne story. Not only is there so much we haven't discovered yet, but there are some details I left out of the previous topics for the sake of brevity and organization. There is genuinely so much to talk about, and if this didn't get you excited about the game's story, then I don't know what will, because this fundamentally changes how we see this game. I do want to clarify, you don't learn all this info I just explained after killing Rom. The only reason I waited until her death to explain the full story is because the proper context was needed, as now we can reanalyze current knowledge and connect it to this new discovery. Like Rom herself, who seems to be just a spider until you realize that Rom was originally a scholar at Bergenworth who evolved into a great one courtesy of Koss, or even how many of the hunters and notable figures in the game wear blindfolds. This could be based on a theory within the game's world that the Scourge Beast plague causes people to lose their eyesight, but could also be a way for the person to prevent going mad from seeing the Great Ones, which also connects it to the insight mechanic. These ideas could be completely wrong, but that's the point of creating a theory, and being able to connect new lore with previous lore so seamlessly is fantastic, and a testament to how detailed the world building of Bloodborne really is. But like I said before, we're not even done with the game's story, as there is so much more to uncover. But now we're starting to enter questionable territory. If there was ever one massive fault in Bloodborne's story, it's the lack of elaboration or just even a simple explanation related to some of the events and locations in the game. We briefly mentioned this before with some of the bosses like the One Reborn, who don't have a concrete backstory, but thanks to the history of Yahar Ghul, we're able to come up with a compelling theory based on this information. This, however, is not the same when discussing the Nightmare Realms. Bloodborne has this fascination with dreams and nightmares, as across the game we'll end up visiting 4 locations, called the Hunter's Dream, Hunter's Nightmare, Nightmare Frontier, and the Nightmare of Mensis. Just about all of them, minus the Hunter's Nightmare to an extent, are extremely confusing and very difficult to wrap your brain around. Once again, we're going to have to rely on context clues in the environment to help us come up with a theory, but there's even less to go off of within these realms, as they're completely separate from reality. Each of these places has a host, and its location is unknown, but it's assumed to be in a different plane of existence, but the location of this new plane is possibly closer than we think, as we can see the Cathedral Ward underneath the fishing hamlet in the Hunter's Nightmare, as well as being able to see the Nightmare of Mensis from the Nightmare Frontier. It's extremely confusing, as it seems that these places could operate like Yahar Ghul and are just simply an unseen village, or do exist but are unable to be preserved by normal humans, or maybe it's something else entirely. One thing that is for certain is that there is a host that created this specific realm for a specific reason. However, for some of them, we still don't know why. This is great as it gets the community talking, but theory crafting is only useful when there's a set amount of facts from which to build off of. But when it comes to these realms, there's very little to even start with. Many have pointed out how these realms are very similar to H.P. Lovecraft's Dreamland. this nightmare seemed to take in things from the real world and put them into nightmares, not completely removing them from Yarnum, but more like as the lecture building seemed to belong in Yarnum originally. After exiting the lecture building, we can officially make it to the nightmare, and it's clear this group does not want to be disturbed, as protecting the gates is this beam of light which comes from the brain of Mensis. The nightmare of Mensis is interesting